Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we transform your raw source material into clear, compelling insights. Today, we're plunging into a truly fascinating narrative, one that explores the high stakes of ambition, the seductive power of quick wealth, and, well, ultimately, the true cost of loyalty.
Yeah, it's quite a story. Our material today is a gripping excerpt from a narrative, and it chronicles the intense aftermath of a triumphant fight in Las Vegas. It centers on Travis, a fighter who's just, come off this big win, and the female narrator, his partner, and they're navigating this life-altering proposal from a really shadowy figure named Benny.
Right, and our mission for this deep dive isn't just about, what happened, but why these events resonate so powerfully. We're going to unpack the underlying motivations, the clash of values that emerges, and the profound personal consequences when desires just diverge like this. You'll gain, hopefully, a richer understanding of the psychological toll of dangerous choices and the complex dynamics of love when trust is really put to the test. So let's unpack this, shall we?
Let's do it. So the scene opens right after Travis's victory. He emerges from the roaring crowd, just absolutely bathed in glory, soaking it all in. This should be a moment of pure, unadulterated triumph for him, shouldn't it?
It absolutely should. But almost immediately, there's this troubling undercurrent for the narrator. You see her immediate unease as she watches Travis interacting closely with Benny, a man who had directly threatened them less than 24 hours before.
Wow, yeah. That's chilling.
It really is. It immediately shifts the mood from, celebration to something much more like dread.
And the fight itself clearly took a physical toll. I mean, when Travis kisses her, she tastes the salty sweat mixed with the metallic tang of blood. Later, as he rinses his mouth, the liquid he spits out is noticeably tinted red. It's a powerful detail.
Very visceral. It grounds the triumph in a harsh reality, doesn't it? Hinting at a cost beyond just the physical exertion.
Definitely. And that initial interaction with Benny immediately sparks questions for the narrator, obviously. When she asks what Benny said, Travis is evasive, just saying, "I'll tell you later. We need to talk about all this."
Yeah, it's almost like he's trying to preserve his moment of glory, delaying the inevitable conversation about this potentially dangerous development.
Which then leads us to the hotel elevator. And here, the celebratory mood takes a very aggressive turn. Travis is still in this euphoric state, pinning the narrator against the mirror, his actions becoming quite intense.
And he's almost disregarding the surveillance camera that she points out.
Right. She points it out, and he just laughs it off, saying he doesn't give a damn because he has something to celebrate.
What does that tell us about him in this moment? It suggests a kind of disregard for consequences, doesn't it? Almost like an intoxication with his own success.
Absolutely. And that's precisely when he drops the bombshell. Benny made him an absolutely insane offer. We learn he's talking about fighting in Vegas for 6 figures per fight, with a plan for 1 fight per month, all in cash. Yeah. What's fascinating here is how quickly Travis's focus shifts from the glory of the fight to the transactional value of wealth.
That's a great point. It's almost as if the victory itself was just a means to this financial end rather than like an achievement in its own right.
Exactly. And he then launches into this incredibly enthusiastic vision for their future, completely fueled by this money. He talks about paying off Mick's debt, covering the narrator's studies, settling his motorcycle loan.
Buying her a new car, eventually a house.
Right.
The works.
For Travis, this isn't just a big payday, it's just the beginning. It's a path to being set for a very, very long time. He truly believes this is their ticket.
So what does this dream reveal about his underlying motivations?
Well, it suggests a deep-seated yearning for financial security, maybe a desire to escape past struggles, but also perhaps a real naivete about the nature of this offer.
He sees the promise of freedom and security.
Where she sees only a gilded cage.
And her reaction couldn't be more different, could it? She has this visceral, immediate response. Her limbs begin to tremble. She closes her eyes.
Physically refusing to even see the excitement in his eyes.
Yeah. She's firmly convinced he's losing his reason in Vegas, urging him to leave before he makes a huge mistake. This isn't just a difference of opinion, is it? It's more fundamental.
It truly is. It's like a fundamental clash of worldviews. Hers is rooted in caution and experience, maybe even past trauma. His is in this kind of euphoric, almost blind ambition. The narrative uses her internal monologue and physical reactions, the trembling, closing her eyes, to really convey the visceral dread she feels.
Like she's watching a train wreck in slow motion.
Precisely. It's a powerful way to draw us into her perspective. She immediately recognizes the pattern you feel.
And that's where her warnings about Benny become so significant, isn't it? She reveals his nickname, Benny the Devious.
Oof, yeah, not subtle.
Not subtle at all. And she reminds Travis of the grim fate of others who worked for him, specifically mentioning Dane, who became a thug, not just a fighter. She sees the trap, the way this kind of money distorts a person.
And her core argument is incredibly insightful and so crucial to understanding her fear. You cannot simply resign from working for Benny. He dictates the terms. Full stop.
That's terrifying.
It is. And she also draws this powerful comparison to her past with Mick, subtly suggesting this is a recurring pattern where money comes before everything else, which, potentially leads to a life of regret and bitterness. She's seen this before, and she recognizes the signs, the cycle repeating.
And just to underscore that moral compromise and her deep dismay, she throws in that sarcastic retort when he mentions paying for her studies.
Oh, yeah, that was cutting. Oh, the mafia gives out scholarships now.
Exactly. It just encapsulates her entire objection to the source of this so-called opportunity.
But despite her desperate pleas and warnings, Travis's decision is firm. I mean, it feels like he'd already made up his mind before even really consulting her.
Yeah, it seems that way. As he looks out at the city lights, he assures her, everything will be fine. I'll make sure everything goes as planned.
Which speaks volumes about his conviction, but also, maybe, about the implicit disregard for her input.
It's heartbreaking to witness. You can really feel the narrator's quiet despair on the plane back. She watches him regretfully contemplate the temptations and perversity of Vegas. She hoped, that once they were away from the city, he'd regain his senses.
But he's clearly still captivated by the allure, isn't he? Even while acknowledging the perversity. It's a strange conflict within him.
Definitely. And that pivotal conversation back at their apartment just solidifies it. Travis unequivocally states, I want to do it. I want to fight in Vegas.
And the narrator, with tears in her eyes, makes her resolute declaration, I don't want anything you buy with that money, Travis. I don't want anything connected directly or indirectly to Vegas in general and to Benny in particular. She's drawing a very clear line in the sand.
She desperately looks for a flicker of humor in his eyes, hoping maybe he's joking somehow.
But finds only uncertainty and greed. That's such a powerful phrase.
It really is. And Travis's justification truly highlights the core conflict. I would have liked your support, but it's so much money, I'd be crazy to say no.
Wow. So for him, the sheer volume of money it overrides everything else, including her profound objections and her fear.
Seems like it. The immediate aftermath of this final decision is just devastating.
Yeah.
The narrator silently begins packing her bags, her tears now angry tears. She realizes that she has to save herself.
Right. If he refuses to be saved from this path, she has no other choice but to get herself out. It's self-preservation.
Her frantic escape is aided by America and Shepley. She uses this desperate lie about doing laundry at the residence to avoid a direct confrontation.
Knowing Travis wouldn't let her go easily, but he quickly catches on, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, he realizes what's happening.
And his pursuit escalates rapidly. It really reveals his desperation and perhaps, like you said, this sense of ownership. He runs after the car, pounding on the window, yelling, America, goddammit, stop the car. Abby, don't do this.
Then he races to the residence on his motorcycle. Frantic.
Forcing open her room door and putting on what the narrator describes as an Oscar-worthy performance of yelling and banging in the hallway.
What truly stands out here, and it's quite fascinating, is the sheer desperation in his actions, isn't it? It goes beyond mere anger. It speaks to a deep unraveling.
He's later found just sitting on the hallway floor, face in his hands, completely distraught, and his erratic behavior continues on campus, overturning tables in class, waiting outside her classes.
It paints a picture of someone really spiraling out of control.
Which brings us to their ultimate confrontation outside the cafeteria. Travis appears unshaven, pale, admitting he's had a difficult week. He's clearly been suffering. The consequences of his decision and her departure are weighing heavily on him.
And he makes this desperate plea, hoping for forgiveness, for reconciliation. I said no to Benny. I called him Wednesday and refused.
It's his attempt to prove he's changed, right? That he values her more than the money, after all.
But the narrator's resolve is unwavering. Her answers are firm. I can't. It's over. She's convinced that Travis is obsessed with possessing her. She sees it as a deeper issue now, beyond just the Benny situation.
So it's not just about the money anymore, but what it represents about maybe his desire for control and his priorities.
Exactly. And this leads to that truly heart-wrenching exchange. Travis states, but you are my home.
Hmm.
Which is such a powerful declaration, hinting at, the concept of love as sanctuary for him.
Yeah, but the narrator, in this moment of brutal clarity, just cuts through it. She articulates the core conflict, pressing him to rank things. Money, her, his life.
It's not just a conversation, it's a test of his value hierarchy.
And she believes she knows the answer already, that she'll always come second to his ambition for wealth.
He makes final desperate attempts, promising to finish his studies, not see Benny, begging her not to leave, emphasizing, "You are my best friend."
But even as he kisses her and begs, the narrator makes this critical observation. She sees her nickname tattooed on his wrist, and it just solidifies her belief. Every time money was involved, I would only come in second place, exactly like with Mick.
Wow. It's such a powerful and painful realization of this repeating destructive pattern in her life.
Absolutely brutal. The aftermath of this final conversation is,
Exactly.
yeah, brutal. The narrator breaks down in the cafeteria bathroom, just unable to bear the public spectacle of her sorrow after leaving Travis kneeling outside. It's a moment of profound emotional collapse.
And this is where we see this really unexpected, kind of unconventional form of support, right?
Yeah, Finch. Kara leads Finch to her, and despite being in the girls' bathroom, Finch gently asks to be let in. When she can't respond, he famously crawls under the door, complaining about the floor possibly being wet.
Which is kind of funny, in a dark way.
It is, and then he just pulls her into a comforting embrace, murmuring, "Shh, calm down, it's gonna be okay. Damn, what are we gonna do with you, girl?" It's just this surprising moment of genuine empathy and practical comfort in a really dark and public moment of despair.
What a journey. I mean, this deep dive has shown us a relationship pushed to its absolute breaking point by conflicting values and the lure of this life-altering but ultimately dangerous opportunity.
Mm-hmm. We've witnessed the painful truth that while love can be profound, it often clashes with deeply ingrained priorities, whether that's security, ambition, or...
Or, as the narrator observes in Travis's case, maybe the desire for control and possession.
Absolutely. And the narrative really forces us to consider a challenging question. When someone we love makes a choice that we fundamentally believe will lead to their destruction, how far are we obligated to go to try and save them?
And here's where it gets really interesting, I think. At what point must we acknowledge that saving ourselves is the only remaining option, even when it means, tearing your heart in two? Consider the different ways we take care of the people we love. Is it always about providing? Or is it sometimes about protecting them from themselves and protecting us from their choices? It's a tough one to chew on long after the story ends.